Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Okay, can we, I know a lot of us screamed our lungs out, myself included, on the way here, but inshallah we can finish strong. So I'm going to ask you to respond this time, nice and loud, with breathe in, breathe out. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Okay, awesome. That's a little bit better. Thank you so much. My name is Latifa Abouchakra. I am a Palestinian refugee. I do not consider myself British in the sense that the identity means anything to me, other than the fact that I must use it to fight the oppression that this country is complicit in. And I think that all of us, I'm just going to move this a little bit so I'm actually facing the audience. Hello. I think all of us have that responsibility. So what does it mean to be Palestinian in Britain? Well, first of all, it means that we use the privilege of not having bombs falling on you to say something. And that something is not, with all due respect to all my other comrades and all the other people who participate in preaching, Palestinian solidarity. Solidarity is a really dangerous word, and I want you to understand why. Solidarity is feeling. Solidarity is, oh, you poor thing, let me hold your hand, I'll pray for you. No, solidarity is not what we want. We need action, and we need you to be unapologetic in your stance for Palestine. How can you do that? Because it's tough, right? Even wearing a kufi or even wearing a badge sometimes in the workplace or when you're out, you feel like I'm putting myself in a position where people could attack me. I'm putting myself in a position where people could call me a terrorist or a terrorist sympathizer, especially if you're a woman. It can be a little bit dangerous. But when we all do this, we push the line further. Let me tell you how that works. A few years ago, and I want a response, please, not just silent glaring at this lovely turquoise color that I'm wearing. I want a response. A few years ago, when you spoke about Palestine, did you think that we could get to a place now where we can openly criticize the Zionist genocidal state of Israel? No, the answer is no, because a few years ago, it was unthinkable. The first thing they would call you is anti-Semitic. It was dangerous. You could lose your job. Now, we can openly say that Israel is a Zionist state. It is built on Jewish supremacy, and we reject it, just like we reject all other forms of supremacy. And I need you to own that language. There is nothing anti-Semitic being said about the fact that we demand the complete abolition of the Jewish supremacist state of Israel. Just like we call out the far right in this country and we say that there's no place for white supremacy on our streets, we say there is no place for Jewish supremacy in Palestine. So get out of it. How can you be strong in your resistance? What can you do to really effectively be someone who is helping the Palestinians? You can be visible with your resistance. And yes, I do mean try as much as possible to wear the symbols of resistance. We're talking about the kufi, we're talking about the map, and we openly and we proudly say from the river to the sea. Don't let any politician try to tell you that it is un-British. Do you know what is British? Fighting for your rights. Do we know the history of this country? Do we know how the people have fought for their rights? First for the children who used to have to work in factories. Then for the women, the men, it is incredibly British to fight for your rights. And we own that part of the British identity. And we will continue to do that. The last thing I want to say to you as a Palestinian woman living in this country is, if possible, if and where possible, try your best to talk about the resistance with your chest. I'm saying nice, loud and proud. We're not just talking about the victimhood of the Palestinian babies. We don't want to hear you to cry over the women who have been raped, or the mothers who could not give birth in safety, who could not give birth in healthy, hygienic circumstances. We also want you to humanize the men who are fighting, rightfully so, for the liberation of their homeland. They also deserve your tears. They also deserve your prayers. And they also deserve your advocacy. So if I can ask for you to take one thing from today, from this humble Palestinian woman living in Britain, who, by the way, has been doxxed, who, by the way, has not been allowed to work back as a teacher because of the stuff that I've said about Palestine. Someone who they have tried to take my kids away from me. They've tried to get social services involved. Someone who has survived all of that. And I can tell you, it's actually not that scary. When you step back and you just realize that this is just all a song and dance, you realize all they can do is try to intimidate us. And if we let them put that fear in our hearts, they have won. So what do? You stand strong and you call their bluff. I will talk about Palestine, it is legal. I will say that that Israeli state deserves to be abolished and that it is built on Jewish supremacy, and I reject it. And as British citizens, we have that right, so let's use it, brothers and sisters. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your activism. Thank you so much for coming out, and I hope to see you at every single protest. Assalamu alaikum.
Make some noise for Sister Latifa Abouchakra. Come on, loud everyone. MashaAllah, MashaAllah, so much passion in the sister. We need more sisters like this. We need activists go into politics. Because so many people want to jump on the Palestine bandwagon. There is no better activist than going to politics themselves. You can see Sister says she's lost her job. Yeah, they try to take her children away. And she's not the only one that's been victimized. She's not the only one that's been doxxed. Look at Dr. Rahma. They're going after her again. You know, and we can't allow that to happen. We need activists standing up at the next council election that will be coming up. Yes, you can.
So sorry. I do like the sound of my own voice, but that's not why I'm back on the mic. What brother is saying is really important. If you choose to take that fight, if you choose to take a stance and people do come for you, there are communities that can help you. Believe me, if you build communities and you talk to each other, there is always someone knows who can get you some free legal advice, who can, help you out with getting you another job. That's why they want to keep us so burdened with looking for work and for paying our bills. And that's why the bin men strikes are so, it really has this big connection to everything else that we're doing. They try to keep us down, focused on our own issues, so that we don't build communities, because when you build communities, you are strong. So please, 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 if you are thinking about doing something and you're scared and you're worried, talk to each other. There are people, there are networks that can assist you, that will rise up to work with you. Just like I have been very fortunate enough to receive, you can also receive that. Brother Danny is the most incredible independent activist that I've worked with. He really, really puts himself on the line. And if anyone here wants to emulate that and wants to take charge, I'm sure he can coach you and help you and make sure that together you guys can build a stronger community in Birmingham.